Good morning, Flosstube. Pam here, stitching between the lines. Today's Wednesday, June 20th. Do you know what that means? Stitch Con starts tomorrow. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go. My suitcase is packed. My cats have a little bit of separation anxiety, and if they see a suitcase, they come unglued. So I have to pack like in secret. And then I get my suitcase out of the house when they're not around, so it's currently out in the garage. There's no changing it now. It's in the garage. It's in the garage, so no repacking. I was emailing Nicole, who's one of the organizers, Buckeye Stitcher, and told her I had no more than 25% of that suitcase full of clothes, and that is the truth. It's a good thing it's summer, is what I was thinking. So anyway, I have a cold. I'll try not to cough. I've had it for over 2 weeks, and it gets better every day. So I don't know how people know they're contagious or not contagious. I've had it for over 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure I'm past the contagious stage, but anyway, I don't know. No cold is ever fun. This one just wants to hang on. I don't feel bad. Nothing hurts, nothing, I sleep at night, all those things. But people keep saying, have you been to the doctor? I'm like, no, what am I going to say? I'm like whiny, like I have a cold that won't go away. But really, nothing hurts. I don't know. I sleep at night. I feel like doing the things I do. I will admit that in the early phases, I wasn't doing as much. I was sitting and not stitching, kind of feeling blah. But anyway, I was sure it would be over by the time I got on that airplane tomorrow morning, but possibly not. So anyway, today is a good day to show the progress and the whips and whatnot, because Stitch Con will be a whole different series of projects. I showed them in my last video what I intend to work on. I showed one, Fresh Cherries Farm, maybe, little house. It's in the suitcase, can't come back out. And I thought I had started it, and when I pulled it out, no starts. Had been no starting, so I did put the stitch the boxes so that it would be easier to just work on the picture inside the box and not worry about that I missed a border or a border doesn't match or whatever. So anyway, there's those two. Well, those two I say. Two I showed last time in the suitcase, not coming out. Can't show you. And then I will take this one in my carry-on. I always have that, like, I don't really worry and panic about my suitcase. Things are so very computerized. But I will bring one in my carry-on in case my suitcase is delayed. Probably it's not going to show very well. I took this one when I went to Minnesota in the fall, and I started it there. This was I need something in case my luggage is lost, and it's on the perforated paper, and it's a large size of theirs, and because I work in hand, I was having a hard time holding it and reaching to the middle, because my fingers on the hand that's not with the needle need to be really close to where I'm working. So I bought little stretcher bars, and I just tacked it on there to see if that helped. Obviously, it's going to have to come off the stretcher bar for me to do the border or the edge part, but I thought if I got the bulk of the center done. Anyway, I thought I'd give it a try. So that will be what I bring in my carry-on, and possibly, I'm just looking to see what else is in the bag that maybe I can't take on the airplane. The little bag, the tacks probably, and if they give me trouble about the 4 tacks in the thing, I'll just pull them out. But I have flown with this before. I fly with this. This is a little, I don't even know what, it came in a sewing kit or a quilt kit as a little something, and in it I have little wee scissors, little teeny tiny scissors with a little cover on them, some needles, a magnet my friend gave me. It's a Harry Potter book. Needle minder that's in there. There's actually, I think this was from Minnesota, I think. A scissors fob. Oh, in the fabric, I must have been working on something. I don't know. I don't know what. A piece of time. Anyway, So I have the things in a bag ready to go in my carry-on, in my backpack. So those are my projects. And then let's just run through the WIPs real quick. I showed this whatever progress I was on this fifth block of Farmhouse Christmas. Excuse me. And I did the fifth quilt square. This one, I'm going to tell you, this one kicked my butt. I don't know why. Probably because I didn't feel as good as I could have felt. So I was having trouble focusing and taking things out and putting them in again, and holy cow. So there's the farmhouse. I've seen the next block, block 6. It's cute. And then Silver Creek samplers. I talked about last time how I had a weak moment and had to pick it up and start at my Christmas list. And so I did pick it up again. I will put a picture here of what it looked like after I worked on it last time. And I just worked on a few more more letters. I started Santa's hat because I had some red in the needle, but that was it. I'm just picking this up a little bit here and there between Farmhouse Christmas blocks and my winter sampler, which is really my focus piece in between Farmhouse Christmas. Whoops, let me put this back in its spot. I don't even have it in a project bag. It's in the bag it probably came in. Picture here. Of where winter sampler was before I pulled it back out. So the top you've seen many times. This time around I outlined the gingerbread cookie. I finished across here, and then I've gone back into the Santa. I'm working as much as I can on the Santa. Of the rest of this whole pattern, this is the densest part. I feel like once this is done, it'll be a glide to the finish. Haha, something will go wrong. There's tons of outlining in here and stuff. There's more toys that he's carrying. Those are the fussy things, the toys. So anyway, it's just a pleasure to work on. I really am loving this piece. So there it goes. I'm going to work on winter sampler a little more today. I have been, I've done all my errands and grocery shopping and whatnot and laundry, and I've been hanging out in my one stitching chair with the humidifier nearby to help speed up the healing. And then we got to start. I don't even know where to begin with. I'm assuming there will be purchasing when I'm at Keepsakes and at the Stitch Con. So let me just show you the last things that are here at home that actually arrived. I have been coveting and loving and watching this one be stitched. Bygone Stitches, Quaker Christmas 2, Songs of the Season, Christmas music is my absolute favorite thing in the world, music-wise. And I love this. I don't really stitch a lot of Quakers or anything. It's just the combination. I really just love this. It's a huge, huge pattern. So what I'm going to stitch it on, I only teased about these in my last video. I didn't show what I bought at the one wool store I went to when I went on my little getaway with some friends. But the owner dyes wool, and she also dyes some threads. And these are the reds and the greens that I picked. She doesn't have a huge palette. It's pretty much your basic colors, red, green, blue, white, whatever. And so I put them with this piece of fabric just to get a look until I got the pattern and could see the dimensions. And this piece of fabric, which is it's a 32 count doubloon, picture this plus, 18 by 26, so it's a fat quarter is not big enough. Not big enough. But I'll order another piece of doubloon and you can see what what these colors are going to look like. Obviously, there's much less green. So when you hold up the red, you should hold up way more red than green because there's just hints of green in this whole piece. It's predominantly red. So, isn't that awesome? I feel like that's even showing up really true. It's going to be awesome. So if I'm going to have to order a fat half, I might get 28 count. I don't know. I just really want to enjoy working on it. 32 count should be under the magnifier. Shouldn't be any kind of trouble to hold. It's going to be giant, so it's liable to end up on stretcher bars. I don't know. We'll see. I only have a couple sets of big stretcher bars. And what's on one of them? Let Freedom Ring is on one of them. And then I had to have this. I watched Kathleen of Kathleen's Trident and Trail, and she showed that she started it, and somebody else had already brought this to my attention, and I was trying to pretend it didn't exist because I knew once I saw it I'd have to have it. And when Kathleen, in one of her little one of the videos when she talked about Stitch Mania, the picture of her holding this was the little thumbnail, and when I saw it I thought, oh please no, please no, please no, don't be quilts, because if I see people working on it, there's just no way. It'll be a must. So of course I bought it. It's not as big as, you know, a lot of long dog samplers when you think of like Death by Cross Stitch and stuff. But still, it's another thing. It's another piece. But all my resolve goes out the window the minute something really awesome comes along. What can I say? I don't think I'm any different than anybody else. And then it's kind of ironic, I forgot to talk about this book I bought at a quilt show where it's a quilt show put on by a quilt guild, and so they collect, people donate books and then they sell them. And this Blackbird design book was there, and I was so excited to buy it because I tried to find it several years ago. I was at a quilt getaway weekend, and somebody was working on a quilt out of here, and I loved it. But Blackbird Design, just like with their patterns, cross stitch patterns, their books for their quilt patterns and whatnot, they come, they go, and that's that. So I loved it. I was so thrilled. And when I got home and opened up the cover, it's a friend of mine's name in there, so that was very funny. But interestingly enough, on Kelly and Joan's latest video where Joan shows some of her vintage stitches, she pulled out this, and I mean this. She was the model stitcher. Look, for this cross stitch that's in this Blackbird design book. So I just thought that was very ironic, and kind of too bad it was sitting out not in my pile of things to show last time, and I forgot it. So when I saw her show that, I thought, oh, I really have to show it this time, that I just lucked into that book. Excuse me again. And then okay, we have to have a moment of the not happy shopper. And I knew this going in. I ordered fabric from Needleworker's Delight / Silkweaver because I have a pattern I want to do. This is nothing unique or special or fabulous, but I wanted to do this to hang in our Florida house, and I wanted to do it on really big count because it's not a really big piece, but I want it to be larger. And so I found a couple different fabrics, one that looks like a sunset and one that looks like a pretty blue sky. So I ordered those from Needleworker's Delight / Silkweaver. Now quit laughing. Does anybody want to guess how long ago I ordered it? I ordered it on March 31st. So 3 months, almost 3 months, 10 days shy of 3 months. What do you think? Is that too long? I know this is how they operate. And then when I heard that they were taking orders during the New Jersey retreat and making dyeing fabric overnight for people, like instantly right there. I'm thinking, where the heck are my 2 pieces from 3 months ago? Maybe I should have had somebody who went to the New Jersey retreat request it for me had we known they were doing that. So I sent them an email this morning. I'm waiting to hear back, and I am trying to prepare myself not to get snarky. Hard to believe, not. But if they give me one of the lines that they have given other people when they have inquired about where their long ago order is, I'm going to know it's just the way they do. That's just, they make excuses for not filling an order. Really? They took my money 90 days ago, almost 80 days ago. They helped themselves to my money. So it seems to me they can dye a couple pieces of fabric for me. Really? I don't know how they stay in business with their online sales of fabric. Like I said, I went in knowing it was going to take a long time, but I'm thinking that this is long. This is beyond long. I was wishing I had paid with PayPal so that I could have the file a claim with PayPal. I just used my Visa card. Anyway, it'll be interesting now that I've put it out there to chat this next few days with people and see what other similar experiences. I just feel like I went into it knowing to be patient. I just feel like, okay, I've been patient. So anyway, there's that. Enough of that. I hear everybody doing the Emily C tag, and at first I wasn't going to do it because it just seemed, I don't know, whatever. But then the more you hear people doing it and you think about what your answers are going to be, you think, oh, maybe I will do it. So I may skip some, I don't know. But the favorite cereal one, which is the first question, what's my favorite cereal? I eat cereal, milk and cereal every morning, and I'm happy with Cheerios or whatever. But when I was a kid, let's see if anybody remembers this. In the early 70s, there was a cereal called, my recollection was that it was called Mr. Surprise. And I think it was a General Mills cereal. And I went looking for it this morning online before I talked about it. It was very short-lived, but honestly, it was like Kix, so little round balls like Kix, and it had in it like vanilla frosting, honest to God. My mother didn't really buy sugary cereals, but she bought that cereal for us. Honestly, that was the best stuff ever. There was a chocolate version too. Loved that because, you know, throw some vanilla frosting on anything. Anything. Makes it better. So I went looking online for it this morning, Mr. Surprise, and I found it, and it was on the list of like the 10 worst breakfast cereals ever dreamed up. And it was called Mr. Wonderful Surprise, and I'll put a picture here. That I found online, so you can see it, and I'm curious as if anybody else remembers it. So my favorite pizza topping, pizza. When I did a tag once before, pizza is my favorite food. I could eat pizza 7 days a week, but I don't like toppings that change the flavor of the pizza. Like I don't want pineapple and ham, and I don't want olives, and I don't want things like that. Anything that changes the basic flavor of pizza. So while I like sausage on my pizza or pepperoni, which just to me adds too much salt, I really will opt for mushrooms on my pizza, which I'm sure people are saying, ew, yuck, but really I don't want, like I said, I don't want broccoli. I don't want anything that's got a strong enough flavor that it changes the flavor of the pizza. If I'm on death row, what's my last meal? Pizza. I'm sure it would be pizza. It's laundry day. What are your really weird bottom of the drawer underwear? Which I was going to not answer this question because who really cares? But there wouldn't be any really weird underwear. And this ties to what I'm going to talk about in our travel adventures, which didn't have anything to do with underwear. But I travel. If there's a chance to travel somewhere, in line. I am going. And one of the things I learned about, especially travel on longer trips and where you're going to want to bring home things because you're maybe in Europe or across Stitch retreat or something like that, is that you take old things, old clothes, and in the case of some place where it really matters what you're wearing externally, then you take all your old underwear, your old nightgowns, whatever, things like that, and you throw them away. When after you've worn them, you just throw them away. So that's where all my old underwear is, left somewhere, some foreign country. I went to, and then if you travel someplace like Costa Rica, which I went to a couple years ago, and you're hiking and you're in the rainforest and you're whitewater rafting and you're zip lining and you're just doing all kinds of things and you're really not wearing your nicest clothes. I took everything that I was like worn out, tired of, capri pants, cargo pants, jeans, sneakers, nightgowns, everything, and I just left everything. When I was done with it, you just leave it. And especially in a country like that, if you leave what to you are an old pair of sneakers or old, not the underwear, but old nightgown, old capri shorts or whatever's, you're really, somebody's going to take them and use them, which is fine. So anyway, I don't have any old underwear or weird underwear because they're long left in some foreign country. Let me see, laundry. Okay, who would play you in a movie about your life? I thought about that all morning. I've been grocery shopping and doing all that, and I've been thinking. And what really, when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, people used to say I look like Linda Blair, which is really funny, and I know it's just the round face and the apple cheeks and stuff, really. So if you're looking for a look-alike, I guess I don't even know what she looked like now. I didn't even Google her, but I was trying to think of like a TV character, like Patricia Heaton from The Middle, or I can't remember her name, Beverly, who plays on The Goldbergs, or somebody like that who like their character would be similar to me in character. And I couldn't really come up with anything, but so I just had to think of somebody that I admire as an actress, and it would be Laurie Metcalf. That woman can act, let me tell you. I hope you watch Young Sheldon, and if anybody watches the Big Bang Theory, you know that Laurie Metcalf plays Sheldon's mother. And on Roseanne, when there was a need for a young Jackie, the role was filled by Laurie Metcalf's daughter. And, okay, right, so on Young Sheldon, his mother is Laurie Metcalf's daughter. And I just think that's fabulous that they have, Laurie Metcalf's Sheldon's mother on the current day Big Bang Theory, and then Laurie's daughter plays his mother on Young Sheldon. Anyway, I just admire her. She's fabulous. She's such a great actress. What food items do I sneak in a movie theater in my purse? It's always a Diet Coke and some kind of candy. Whatever, I'll look and see what I feel like. It might be gumdrops, it might be M&Ms, whatever. But yeah, I do. I do take food into the movie theater. My perfect vacation would be in a beautiful house on the lake in the Adirondacks. I love the Adirondacks. If I'm stuck on a deserted island, bring 5 things. What do I bring? The obvious things. The sewing, my husband, my own pillow, Diet Coke. Reproduction style chart with any theme possible. It would have to be Christmas, Santa Claus, something like that. Strangest travel experience. Oh my gosh, this is really... I travel, right? I've said that. I've traveled and traveled and traveled. I had real adventures when I was younger, much younger, and a lot more carefree. I spent a semester in college in the Bahamas. I know you're thinking, what the does an accounting major do in the Bahamas for a semester? Our school had ran a program down there, and where you studied marine and island ecology and science majors. It was really meant for science majors, but us non-science majors could go there and get our science credits. Holy cow. That's not even going to be my strangest adventure because that one's not for public consumption. When I went to Costa Rica, I don't know how many people have ever been to Costa Rica. It's a third world country, but their number one industry or whatever is tourism. And they have some fabulous places to stay, and their luxury is different in different countries. I've stayed in a lot of different kind of places, and in Costa Rica, some of the resorts they call it ecotourism, and so they're kind of out maybe in the middle of nothing, the jungle or whatever. So it's beautiful, definitely beautiful. There's a lot of open air, like a lot of businesses are open air, like a restaurant and stuff. Maybe won't even have all its walls, won't even be there. A lobby in one of our hotels was like in this hut with just, I don't know, there was no front to it, just the front desk was there. You might be in the restaurant in a hotel and there literally are no walls. It's just the roof and maybe behind you the bar and the restaurant, whatever, I don't know. So in this one hotel, we were like really, I think, up in the rainforest, and this hotel was beautiful. It's a different luxury and different beauty than you think of when you think of like a tropical hotel. But a lot of the rooms were grouped in these standalone buildings that look like a palapa. Do you know what that is? Like with the dome roof that's maybe thatch, maybe an umbrella by a pool might look like a palapa. These were big, and you just walked into an open air common area, and it was a circle, and all the rooms were in a circle, and you went into the rooms, and the rooms opened out onto a patio that circled the exterior, so you could walk along the patio and to your neighbor's room or whatever. In Costa Rica in the rainforest, where there's a lot of open air and not walls don't always go to the roof, but maybe most of the way up, and then it's just screens. We stayed in hotels that were like that, like you could hear the people snoring next door or whatever, but the nature, it's all about all the nature you hear, and air circulation and stuff, because there's not air conditioning. And so anyway, we're in our rooms, and I had a room to myself. I'm one of the adults on the trip. I'm with a group of kids from school, so I'm one of the adults. And it was the room was just lovely. Things were lovely, but it's a third world country, so their idea of like sheets and quality of the bedding and that kind of stuff is usually a little, not, But anyway, the doors that opened out onto this common patio. Oh, so what I was saying is like they have these huge hipped roofs. So you can go, there's usually a distance between your window or your door and the outside, because when it rains, the idea is, the rain is kept away from your door, because the doors aren't usually anything more than a screen or a shutter door or something like that. So in my room, I have this beautiful like shutter doors that are just screen doors that open to my, the common patio that circles the building. And when I was getting ready for bed that night, it felt like maybe it was going to rain. And so I was getting in bed, and I was really looking forward to listening to the rain and the sounds of the forest, and maybe a little breeze coming through, and just a really nice way to fall asleep. So I get in bed, cover up, lay down, and all of a sudden, something like skitters up the bed, right up. You go, oh God. So I jump out of bed, turn on the light, and on the wall at the head of the bed is one of those big palmetto bugs, you know, an enormous cockroach kind of thing. So I don't really like bugs, you know, I'm like a typical girl, but, you know, I can handle whatever. So, you know, I got a little bit of the willies, right? So I get my flip-flop and I smack the wall to kill that thing, and whoever's in the room next to me whacks the wall because, you know, they're probably thinking, those darn kids, what's going on? And so then I pulled back the sheets and there's another one in the bed. So by now, you know, like every nerve is tingling. And I just thought, you can't leave a light on in these kind of rooms at night because you'll draw the bugs. Not the ones that are in your bed, they're already in the room, but because there's just screening and you're not in a really sealed up room, you can't leave a light on. So I'm in there all by myself. I get back in bed and I'm thinking, oh God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm thinking my daughter was on the trip, and I'm thinking the number of kids we had, there were 4 kids in a lot of the rooms, but the room my daughter was in, there were only 3 girls. So I'm thinking, well, I could go get in bed with my daughter. But then I'm thinking, I can't wake those kids up. And I wasn't sure which door in the circle of door. I think our group was in that building. I think we were the only ones in there. But still, I can't go knocking on doors and be like, is Erin in here? Erin, do you have room in your bed for me? I was thinking, I can't do that. So I'm thinking, how am I going to get through the night? I'm like, I wonder where the bus driver is. I wonder if the bus is unlocked. Like, I'm going to go sleep in the bus, right? And then I just thought, all right. You are one of the grown-ups on this trip. You are just going to have to go to sleep, which is what it came down to, is that I was a grown-up on the trip. And running, squealing, and screaming out into the common area wasn't what one of the grown-ups could be doing. So anyway, I'm not in a big hot hurry to go back to Costa Rica. No offense to Costa Rica, but I've been there from coast to coast, mountaintop and down. Anyway, I'm not saving money for anything. What is your strategy? What craft? I don't want to try and learn any more crafts. If I could only stitch 3 designers, who would they be? It would be Prairie Schooler and Sarah. I meant to look this up. Sarah Groon. I don't know what all her long name is, but she does these really great scenic. I just really love her style. And I don't know. Can I say Jan Lynn? Because that incorporates a whole lot of people. I don't think I've ever injured myself in a stupid way that I can remember. I can't remember. There's been some, but whatever. I don't have a roommate or housemate story, really. I almost never had a roommate in college. And then I lived on my own until I moved in with my husband. My dream house would be a timber frame home on a lake in the Adirondacks with the most mammoth and secure screened-in porch. There'd be all the other amenities too, of course. I don't know what I'd want played at my funeral. There's probably... I'd have to go through. I could come up with some, but it would be like a hymn or something. My favorite board or card game is euchre, 100% euchre. My husband and I play euchre with a group a couple times a month, and I love it. There's a lot of men that like to try to tell us how to play, and I'm like, no, don't even do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. My first celebrity crush, I thought about that one for a long time. I was a child in the era of the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family and Donny Osmond and all that, but I'm going to have to say it was Barry Manilow. I'm not even going to say anything more. Capture a smell in a candle. It could be that it would be the smell of a newborn baby's head. Yeah. Especially, not to be creepy or gross or anything, but a breastfed baby, because then they don't, like, it just smells good. It just smells perfection. So there you go. 20 things you never wanted to know about me, but now I've spent time telling you. So anyway, this is a good, like I said, a good cutoff point because I'm going to Stitch Con tomorrow, and I'm not organizing a stitching retreat, so don't even go there. But honest to God, I need a retreat where it's one flight away, and I don't need a car when I'm there. Because believe it or not, to get from New York to Cincinnati, I have to take 2 airplanes, 2 layovers, which was the same when I went to Minnesota. I could have gone to Newark and only 1 flight. I might actually get there, though, because that's a realistic destination for me to go to. Whatever it is. Silk Weaver, I want to call it. Needleworker's Delight. But I don't know. They might not get any more of my money if they don't make good on this fabric. So anyway, that's it for now that I can think of. I will take this with my iPad with me tomorrow and try to upload from the hotel because, as I hinted and indicated on the last video, I just couldn't get it uploaded. This is what I do. I film on my iPad. You can edit it in iMovies, and then you can save it back into your photos on iPad, and then I put it in Google Photos, and from Google Photos is an online upload. So it's the thing about Google Photos is that if you start the upload and then you have a break in your internet, it'll usually pick right up again the next time you have internet. And so I will sometimes take my iPad to the grocery store, and when I'm grocery shopping, it'll get a lot of it uploaded, and then I can bring it home and it'll finish. But it didn't work that way this time, and I don't know why. I don't know. And then if I try myself from home, it can take like 24 hours, and then it can still freeze somewhere in the upload. That's the problem is it'll freeze, and you'll turn your back on it for several hours and discover it's made no progress. Start it over again. And I had to go to my daughter's, and I got it a fair amount uploaded from there, and I thought, well, I'll finish it when I get home, and then it didn't finish again. So it was a lot of that. So I finally took my iPad. I went to the grocery store. We have a lovely, lovely grocery store around, and they have a really nice cafe, and there's always people in there using the Wi-Fi, just reading a book, reading the paper while somebody does the grocery shopping, or maybe they had to drop somebody off for an appointment, and you just go and you sit in the cafe and you have something to eat and whatever. It's nice and big. There's lots of different areas. So anyway, I just took my iPad, I took my library book, and I just said I'm going to just stay till it's done. So that's what I did. Excuse me. And then I'm going to apologize for being a little bit negligent on the comments. I really do I read them all. Sometimes they come on my phone, and I really can't comment on my phone because it wants to go to YouTube and go to my video. And when you're standing in line at the grocery store, it's just not really conducive to that or something. So I need to come home and then go on my account and answer, which I try to do. If anybody asks any kind of question, I always try to answer. And I always try to heart everything. This last couple weeks with this cold, I haven't felt all that great, and I'm not always like even remembering, I think, that I need to go and do it. I've read the comment. So anyway, I really do try to be good. I really appreciate when people take a minute to comment, because I know I watch Flosstube. I know what it's like to put down what I'm doing and take the time to comment. Take the time to remember what it is I thought of in the beginning of a video. And sometimes when people are recording for an hour and a half, that's a heck of a lot of time for me to remember to comment on something they talked about or mentioned or showed in the first 10 minutes, especially if I've had to stop and start watching. So anyway, I just want everybody to know that I really do appreciate it. I've had a sudden, pretty much every time I have a video out, there's a few more followers. This time I felt like there were more than before, and it could be because of the list of Flosstubers that are going to Stitch Con, so people are trying to watch. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate it. That's why we keep doing it. We keep thinking, oh, when I have so much trouble uploading, I think I'm done. I'm not going to do this. Why am I putting myself through this? And then I know what Flosstube means to me, and I know from the comments that people do enjoy when there's somebody that they like to see, they like their style, or they feel like they've gotten to know them, or in real life they have gotten to know them, that it makes it more fun to watch. So anyway, just don't think I'm ignoring you. I know, as somebody who comments, sometimes I've commented on people's videos, like I don't even know how many times on every video sometimes, and they never ever reply or acknowledge my comment. That sometimes I think, okay, I'm done. I'm unsubscribing. If I'm that inconsequential to them, then why am I spending my time? So I just want you guys to know I don't think that at all. If God forbid, I would really hope there's not somebody I have missed over and over and over again. If that's the case, then I would be concerned that your comment isn't really ever posting. Excuse me. So anyway, off to the putting my editing skills to work with this cough. So anyway, I will talk to you soon. And hopefully there will be some news from Stitch Con. I know what it feels like to not be the people there, and your level of interest in seeing a chaotic video made while somebody's at a retreat. So I don't expect I'll be doing that. But if there's people who are on the fence about thinking about would they have liked to have gone, would they like to go next year, that maybe you'd like to hear somebody's review of it. So I will talk about it a little bit, I'm sure. So anyway, have a good Wednesday. Happy stitching. Bye.